Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to continue working on the 2025 Panigale, and today we are finally going to get rid of that ugly factory license plate holder, turn signal monstrosity that's on the back of the bike. The NRC tail tidy just came out, so we're going to go ahead and get it installed. Now this is a pretty simple install. Don't be afraid to try this yourself. There's also instructions on their website how to do this. So it takes minimal tools, not very much effort, and it changes the looks of the bike dramatically. So as always, in the description below or as the video's playing, I'll always make sure to try to list the tools that are needed to put this on. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the description below. So let's go ahead and get started on this. So first things first, underneath the tail section, there are four number 4 Allen head screws right here that need to be removed. So let's go ahead and take those off. Once you get the bolt out, you can simply lower it down. Just be careful that there are plugs right here. You don't want to just yank it out and potentially damage one of your plugs. Once you have the plugs exposed, there is a little tab that you need to depress, and then you can undo the switches. Okay, so once you get the rear tail section off, the bracket off, then we need to remove the seat with your number 4 Allen. We can go ahead and remove the rear cover, pull it out of the way. And then if you look on the fairing right here, inside there is a number 4 bolt on both sides. You need to remove those as well. And they're right there. It's just another number 4 bolt. Now, when you get those bolts out, you can simply pull out on it and it will release from the clips or pins. Be careful not to scratch anything, and then just push it back once you get it up, and it will release off of the tail section there. So you can see on the fairing. Okay, now with the fairing off, we need to remove the tail light, or at least get it loose. There's one bolt in the top that is a number 3. You can go ahead and take it out. Now with your bolt out of the tail light, you can simply wiggle it back and forth to remove it from the 3 tabs. There's a push pin in the middle and 2 tabs on each side. All right, so the NRC kit comes with 3 different pieces. Now I have the tuck kit. They also have one that is not tucked, and then they have one that's made for the undertail Acra exhaust. Okay, so the parts for the plate holder, as you can see, you have your cover for the bike, your plate and license plate, your plate holder with the license plate light, and then for the hardware you have 2 shorter bolts, 4 long bolts, 4 of these nylon spacers, 2 long spacers, 4 of these nut clips or bolt clips, and then 2 lock nuts. So basically the way that this works is you take the longer bolts, put through the bottom section, and then you will take the big spacers and put on, and then push on these little retainers. You can either screw these on, sometimes you can do it that way. You can sometimes take a socket and push it down. So again, this is how I like to do this. Just take a socket that's big enough to fit over your bolt, and then you can normally just push it on until it tightens up. Like so. So now that we have it to this point, we want to go ahead, take our shorter bolts, put those in the top holes, and then put a spacer, the little nylon spacers on these nylon spacers or plastic spacers. There's two that are thicker and two that are thinner. So the thicker ones are the ones that actually go in between here and your plate. So the thick ones go on first. So take one of your bolts, put it on like so. Take the thick washer, put it on. Go ahead and put the other one on with the thick washer, spacer, washer, whatever you want to call it. So you have it like so. Then once you have it to there, you can go ahead, take the center hole, run your wiring through it, then put the thin washer on top like so, and then push the retainer on, whatever you want to call those. So when it's all finished, it should look like this. And then this is ready to install. All right, now that we have the tail light out of the way, you can either just let it hang or you could cut the zip ties to move it out of the way. But what we need to do is we need to take our cabling for our turn signals and go through this hole in the top and fish it out of the bottom right here. So there's one of them. And there's the other one. So now what you can do, so I've already taken and just stuck the tail light back in its little grommet pin at the top and the ones on the side. And then I'm just gonna leave this setting right here for now. But what it does is this little tab sticks on here. So you can just push it on there and let it sit there for a minute. So now then, before we go ahead and button all this up, go ahead and plug your plugs in, left turn, right turn, and your tail light, and then switch the bike on and make sure everything is working properly. Okay, now as you can see, the tail light, or the turn signals, I'm sorry, are just resting on this lip right here. It just sticks in there. I'm gonna go ahead and put the number 3 screw back in the tail light. All right, now that we have the tail light bolt in, we can go ahead and put our tail section back on. As remembering, there's a hole in the back that slides over this tab. I don't know how hard this is going to be with these turn signals on there now. Okay, so once you get it clipped back into place, we can go ahead and put our number 4 screws back in, which are these. They have the little nylon washers on them. All right, now that we have those tight, I'll try to show you a better view of exactly where those are at, which is this one right here. So just be careful not to drop it because it could get ate by the bike. And of course there's one of those on each side. That one's up under here. All right, so with that secure, now we just need to figure out a way to basically hide all this wiring to put it in here. So you can do whatever to hide it. And there's quite a bit here. So just try to feed the wire in however you can to keep it out of the screws. And then we'll go ahead and try to start these. Okay, so it's kind of a pain to get these bolts in because the cover is kind of concave or got a little curve to it. So the bolts try to angle in. So I just bent mine straight. And those big thick spacers in the back kind of hold it off. So you have to run it down fairly tight to get it to pull in flat. As you can see here, it's actually sealed up pretty nice all the way through. I do have a little bit of gap at the bottom, but I just don't know what to do about that. I think that's just about as far as it goes in. You can see there I've got a little gap. But all in all, it looks much better than that factory unit. So now that we have the tail tidy installed, we can go ahead and let the bike down and put the seat back on and the rear cover. Seat's back on. Everything is cleaned up. And what a huge difference it makes. Well, there you go, guys. Quick, simple install that really cleans the motorcycle up. It didn't take that long to do it. So if you need any help, make sure and just leave some questions in the description below. Don't be afraid to work on your own motorcycle. Some of these things are not that hard to do. There's plenty of online resources to help you. You need to learn how to work on your own bike anyway. We're not talking engine work or whatever. These are just accessories. You don't always have to take your motorcycle somewhere to get the work done. Don't be afraid to do it yourself. The tail tidy for this bike was supplied to me from Motivation Accessories here in Austin. I'll put the link in the description for them. If you need anything, make sure to go check them out. I hope this video really helps you guys out. So like I said, if you need any help, thanks for watching, guys.